All right, man. Well, hey, I want to say thanks again, John, for popping on after your dinner with the wife and out a night on the town.
Yep, got to get out of the house, once in a while.
Of
We're all
course, of
cooped up
course.
here. My daughter's in dental school, and she's mostly remote. And I'm always laughing because I don't know how you learn to be a dentist on a computer. But she does have
Right,
lab here and there. And then I'm home all day. So, once every week or two, we'll go support a local restaurant, get out of the house, clean up a little bit.
right.
But before we go any further, Jason, I want to make sure I get this down here. Zombie collected for Hall of Fame.
That right there, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
you know
right
what? I
there.
just got banned from Twitter. I just
Well,
got
you just
banned from
got you.
Twitter.
Well, you'll be in good company because there's a few other people been getting banned from Twitter recently. Oh,
Yep.
jeez. But yeah, man, I just want to say I appreciate the kind words. I thought it was hilarious the way you set it up. And have you seen you seen Jimmy Guns? He did a similar thing. Like, what is one other
Yeah.
guy I can just say that will just really give people a hard way to go? That's right. I'll just stir the pot a bit. So I
Yeah, you know
appreciate
what?
it,
I was
man.
laughing when I saw that because it was similar to mine. But
Right.
this Hall of Fame thing. Everybody's got to have a little bit of a sense of humor or something. Because I said in my video, I'm like, you're guaranteed to get the most dislikes you ever got on a video when you do a Hall of
Yeah.
Fame vote. And it wasn't. I swear to God, I don't. It wasn't even uploaded yet. I had one dislike, and then immediately followed by another one. And it now has become my number one disliked video of all time.
Seriously.
And it's been
Yeah,
up
dude.
for it wasn't even 24 hours when it hit that.
Wow.
Gotta get.
What did you do, Stowe? Did you change something?
I'm working on the background.
Yeah, we're all delayed.
I know. The Stowe's been messing with stuff.
What did I do? I didn't do anything.
There's an echo now.
Man, his audio makes us sound bad.
I know.
He sounds like
No.
It's like I'm listening to NPR.
The echo was my fault. Is it better now?
I think so. Yeah.
That was my bad. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all right. Well, I forgive you this time. So, but I agree with you, John. Well, it's weird that you said that initially when you said about the most dislikes because shockingly, and Mark knows this because Mark and I've been around together for I think longer than you and I have, John. So the whole dislike thing for my videos is pretty high in the previous 3 years of this because I usually go in sideways on it. And then this year I was trying to be a little bit more, classy.
Because you have a chance of getting in.
Who knows? But the thing is, I thought was funny was that I went the full day yesterday with like no thumbs down. I couldn't believe it. Like I'm gonna break a record. Like I haven't had any dislikes forever. And then this morning I woke up and there were like 2 or whatever. So I was like, wow. I was like, so somebody must have really got, finally was like, we can't let this guy get away with no dislikes. So it is what it is, man.
They have a dislike button. Facebook did away with theirs like a decade ago.
Yeah.
Right. It's for people like
what positiveness comes from a dislike button? Seriously,
right.
What positiveness comes from that?
Yeah, it's not a good idea.
Quite honestly, for most people, there's a handful of people, even in this community, that somehow get bothered by a thumbs down on their video. Like it really, honestly, like bothers them. But for anybody who has any sort of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like any confidence, like a thumbs down by a mystery person anywhere in the world does not affect me in the least. So like, I don't get it. Like, it doesn't get it. Like, I don't understand how that bothers people, but it's whatever.
How big is your thumbs down?
I want to know what
Jason?
kind of person though. Like, like you could just do a very simple video. Like, hey, I'm on here. I just got this new card. Let me show it to you. So what kind of person like goes out of their way to dislike that? It's not like, it's hate
They're
speech
jealous, dude.
or, if there's anything to hate. There's nothing to hate. Or like I'll give a shout out to somebody, and you'll get a dislike. Like, why are you disliking somebody trying to bring somebody else up? Like I just don't get that, you know.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I never understood that, and I don't think. I think like what Mark said is true. Is like they're just jealous of something you might show off. They might say, you know, well, not everybody can have a Lou Gehrig, John Mangini show off. I'm giving you a thumbs down or whatever,
and
it
makes them feel good,
right?
You know,
because when they're showing
I don't
off
thumbs down, but
No.
I think it's like their way of getting back, you know, because they're just sad people.
I think
Jason, how big is your dislike contingent? Like on an average video, how many dislikes do you have?
You know, I'm probably gonna jinx myself right now, but I'm telling you what, since I came back in like September or whatever it was, I came back August, September, and I've been Zombie Collected 2.0, Mr.
The nicer, gentler zombie.
Right. The nicer, gentler, the reach between the reach across the aisle, Jason. Right.
Not that one. Yeah.
That
I have not. I don't think I've had
really helped.
What the what?
Your trip to
what was
Tibet
that?
really helped.
Yeah, your trip to Tibet.
Your trip to Tibet when you went with the monks.
Yes, when I went to go talk to the Dalai Lama.
You climbed up. You were like Jim Carrey. You're like Ace Ventura up there.
Right. It has like the big hat with the thing.
I'd like to see Jason climbing across that rope like Ace Ventura.
Oh, jeez. I would step 1 foot out and die. So I'll just go careen into a mountain. But I will say, since I came back, and I could be wrong because I was actually surprised. I was looking at this recently.
I'll go check.
I was looking at this. Almost all of my videos have had no thumbs down since I've been back.
What?
I can't believe it.
Dude, what am I doing wrong? I
can't believe it. Now, I know. I think it all went to Mark Stowe Sports over there. Stowe is Loaf.
I think, yeah.
I mean, like I said, the Hall of Fame video had 2 dislikes, but so far. But after this, they'll probably end up having. Somebody will go through and just 50 videos or something. But I have went a long time with no dislikes, which is shocking.
Yeah, I'm looking. You don't have any. I have all my videos basically have 2 or 3 dislikes. Like I honestly get somebody disliking my video versus you guys. I truly understand, because when you try to do funny stuff and people think it's dumb or whatever, that's fine. They're just haters,
they think you're trying to be serious.
Yeah. Well, I would hope by now nobody would think I'm trying to be serious, but
what about you, John? When you do your nunchuck videos on a baseball card channel, did you get any blowback from that? Did anybody ever send you a message like, "What are you doing, man?"
You know what? I got one really rude comment where somebody said that a Shaolin monk would kick my ass or something like that. I didn't know what I was doing, and if I thought it's just something stupid. I mean, like you said, Stowe, people don't have a sense of humor anymore. For instance, when I show cards, sometimes I'll wear a white glove. Now, I do this for 2 reasons. Number one, to be funny, because it's silly. These are encapsulated cards.
You're not
Obviously,
allowed to have fun,
dude. I don't need a glove to show them.
You're not allowed to have fun.
Right, and then I pick my thumb, so it looks awful when I do a close-up and I'm showing a card. My thumb looks absolutely awful on camera, so I started wearing a white glove to show the cards. And I made a joke of it, and I was like, I'm gonna call myself Johnny One Glove and this and that, and I'll show the fancy cards with the glove on. And I mean, even today, I got a comment. I don't understand why somebody needs to wear a glove and they have no glove on the other hand. Well, it's a joke. It's a joke. So,
dude, see, you just got.
Over the year, I got so many mean comments about the darn glove.
Dude, you just got to lean into it. Be like, well, maybe, with those piece of crap cards you have, you don't need a white glove. But these cards, these cards necessitate white glove handling.
I would never do that because I love all cards, man. I got all kind of piece of junk cards.
Yeah, I know. I just...
But,
I get you.
I like to respond sometimes to. I have one video in particular that continues to constantly get comments from like strangers. It's my biggest video ever, and just constant hater comments, and because people think I'm being serious, and every now and then I'll reply to them, and I'll just like keep them going because they totally misunderstood what I was doing.
Yeah. Well, Victor gave us a thumbs down for this video right here.
It's the same on Facebook. It amazes me how many people don't have a sense of humor or don't get your joke when you're being sarcastic. I think there are a lot of people that just don't get sarcasm, you know, because I'll say something totally tongue in cheek, and then all the haters come at you, like they want to kill you. They want you dead because you said something they don't like.
Yeah. See, Victor knows. You bought some Japanese.
Baseball fans are the same way. Just make a statement that somebody should be in the Hall of Fame that is not a popular choice, to see all the haters come at you and tell you how stupid you are and you don't know anything about baseball and this and that. And then they'll give you all the stats.
Right. People in general today just get so triggered by everything.
Well, it's before we went live, I was talking to Bob, and I'm sure all of us will know, and maybe John, I'm not for sure how much you would know or care during this decade or not. But, you know, in the 90s, they were like a chunk of time, about like 6 to 8 years, that there were like so much great comedy that was coming out. Like Saturday Night Live was solid. You had In Living Color. You had Mad TV. You had Kids in the Hall. You had The State. You had like the Ben Stiller Show, Mr. Show. You had all these great shows coming out, which, you know, that was just literally 25 years ago, maybe even 30, that the comedy that they had on those shows, you could not do anymore. Like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, well, you're right about that. Plus, the new comedy is political messaging, really. I mean, all late night TV, it's nothing but political jokes. Like, this is not funny anymore. At some point, it's no longer funny. You know, you have to have a better repertoire than making fun of Trump. I mean, that doesn't take much to make fun of Trump. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's even before Trump,
if that's your livelihood, yeah, but you should be able to come up with some other topic. You know, I mean, I remember you know, when you watch the Tonight Show or David Letterman, there was a little bit of, you know, they always made fun of the president or made fun of politics, but not the whole show. You know what I mean? Just here and there.
There's a famous writer on SNL. He has worked for the show for like 40 years or something. Jim Downey. He's like the super famous political. He's written like, he's done everything, and he's like super high up in like the comedy writing world, and he does political satire and all that stuff. And he hates what you're talking about. He calls it. He came up with a term. It's called clapter, where you make a joke, but all you're doing is just making some easy comment that you know your audience agrees with, and they don't think it's funny, but they clap.
Right.
It's called clapter, and he says that no true comedian would ever do that, no matter what their political beliefs are. You would never just like do that.
See, I don't think it's funny to hate. I don't think hate is funny in any form. You know, and that's what our comedies become. Like you wanna hate people who disagree with you and make fun of them. Well, okay, but you know, there's half the country is not going to find that funny.
My biggest argument is like I was like, initially is that I agree, like Stuff's doing on his channel. He's trying to be funny. You have some people out there in the comedic world trying to have fun and try something new or different, but to what Mark was saying is, people don't know how to react to comedy anymore. The last like 10 years, 8 years, like actual jokes, like, you know, they have a real payoff, or just silliness, it's fallen on deaf ears. Like they want you to do this clapter. Like they just want you to go out there and just like say something that everybody's going to agree with that doesn't make them think or make them feel uncomfortable or push the boundaries. All that's been pushed away for this clapter. So I completely agree.
I have my daughter here. She wants to say hi.
Hi.
Hey.
What's shaking?
I heard you do a lot of dental school, but at home.
There you go, my cameo.
All right, the cameo. Hey, Luca, can I get a cameo with you real quick? Yeah, everybody's showing off their kids. He showed off his Filipino white daughter. I'm gonna show off my Japanese white son. That's Mark and that's John.
Hey.
John Mangini.
Yeah.
Mark Stowe Sports.
Or
Hey, Luca.
Stowe Collector, yeah.
That's right.
Or Stowe Investor.
There's my son. There's my son's cameo.
He's in prison.
He's actually right behind. He's right behind this wall right here, or right outside the window.
That's awesome. Everybody's showing off their kids. It's like the modern day wallet. You're like you don't ever carry pictures in your wallet anymore because it's all on your phone. And then we just modernize it even more. Right.
Yeah, you just post a bunch of pictures on Facebook every day, looking like you're having fun.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
that's true.
There are people out there who believe that if it's not on Facebook, it doesn't exist.
Right. Right.
It didn't happen.
That is very. So I was gonna ask you, Mark. I know that there are some people out there in the interwebs that are giving you some love too with the Hall of Fame. For a guy who doesn't do any sports cards on his sports card channel, you know, how does that make you feel to kind of have that push? Or some people think, hey, you definitely deserve to be out there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm not really technically a sports card channel, so I don't think I really qualify. But I appreciate when people give me the votes. But honestly, like I do this as like an outlet. You know what I mean? Like these stupid ass videos. Like I have fun doing it, and if nobody watched it, I would still do it. But the fact that, you know, a few people think it's funny or whatever, like that makes me feel good that I'm not. Yeah. I don't know, because when you like vibe with somebody, you know, it's the same thing as cards. Like you in your day-to-day life, you know, if you say to your coworker, hey man, look at this card I bought, he's gonna be like, don't care. And then you find this whole community that's like this whole community that's not only do they care, but like they're interested, they're like rooting for you, you know, it's wild, man. And you find that connection and then you just build from there. Like just because we like cards, why are we friends? It doesn't make any sense, but it's true. And when you meet all these people in person, like Jason, like I've never met you in person, but it would be no different than all the times we've talked. It won't be any different. And why is that? I don't know. It's weird, but it's cool.
I completely agree. And I was going to ask you, John, I mean, as a guy who has the kind of collection you have, and I know you said you've had people come over and you can show it off or whatever, you can talk about your collection or whatever. Do you feel like, and you've talked about before, like you've been in Sports Collectors Digest, and you've had your Facebook, like the Mangini collection group and things like that. It's kind of separate than you as the person, than you as the collection or whatnot. Like, how much of it for you, because you've been into this for essentially your entire life, how much of it for you is the connection you're making with people on YouTube and Facebook, and how much of it is, it doesn't matter if there's people who like your collection or not, you're still doing what you're doing. Does it help you or encourage you to keep collecting, or it doesn't do anything for you? It's just nice for people to say, hey, that's a great card.
Yeah, so let me just say this. You know, I grew up an only child, and, you know, my immediate family knew I collected, and my friends who I collected with when I was young knew I collected, but that was it, right? And being an only child and growing up in the country in the middle of nowhere, like I literally collected in obscurity. And so when I got older, I mean, nobody, like Steve said, nobody wants to hear about it, the card you got or whatever. And so as an adult, I mean, I didn't really talk to anybody about it. The only way I learned about cards was through the magazines and through eBay, you know, articles, and just looking for cards, or every once in a while going to a card store or a show, right? So I just started putting my cards on eBay, on Facebook. I started a page for maybe somebody who might be interested in cards. And honestly, just to like kind of organize all my photos on there and everything. And it did for me, really. So one day I started making some videos. I'm like, let me make some videos of me looking through my cards. And I was just like, bam, 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 looking through these cards. And so I put it on Facebook, and nobody really seemed to care. And on a whim, I had a YouTube account, and I just threw it on there, and I ended up throwing, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 videos on there, and never thought twice about it again. And I had almost no views. I just did it because I like to share my collection, and I didn't know there was a sports card community. I had no idea this thing existed, right? So I just threw it on there. So one day I start to get all these subscribers, and I'm like, what is going on? And somebody's like, Dave at Blue Jacket 66 sent me to you. Dave at Blue Jacket 66 sent me to you. And I'm like, who's Dave at Blue Jacket 66, right? So, of course, I have to go looking for the video, and he had given me a shout out. And he's like, man, you got to see this guy's collection. If you like what I show you, this guy is just like whipping through cards, and he's giving me advice on like show the card longer. You're going too fast, and I don't know anything. And next thing I know, Baseball Collector gave me a shout out. I'm a happy hour one day. I'm getting subscribers, like out of the blue again. And so that's when I discovered the community. I had no idea there was a community. But now that, back to your question and your point really is that, yes, it's so wonderful to have a community and you learn so much from everybody else. And I know you were talking about, people dislike because maybe they're jealous and they, of the card or whatever. But I'm total opposite. Like Enough Said gets a new edition. Man, I'm like, oh, wow. Yeah, I wish I had that. But I'm so happy for him because he's showing me stuff I never saw before, And that's what it's really all about.
I completely agree. I think if you ever have Stove Sports, Stove Investors, Stove Collector, if he never does a shout out to your videos, I mean, you're gonna go through the roof, dude. I mean, you're gonna hit that 1,000 subs before you know it.
You're gonna lose subscribers if I give anybody a shout out.
No, I listen to Stove just because he's just like he's like, once you start listening, you just have to stay listening. Like it doesn't matter what he's saying.
My gosh.
He can make anything sound good. You just want to listen to him talk some more.
I mean, I 100% agree. Like, there are very few guys I will stop what I'm doing and listen to their video. And I don't care if they're 35 seconds, like sometimes, or they're like 6 minutes long or whatever he's doing. Like, I'm sitting there with my phone or I have it on my TV and I'm like, whatever Mark says, even if it's supposed to be serious, it's going to be something hilarious because he can't help himself. Like, it's just going to be hilarious. Yep. And he never disappoints.
The problem is that I can't be serious. No one will ever think I'm serious. If I'm like, oh, check this out, man, look at this. People are like, what? Well, I don't get it. What are you like? I don't understand the joke you're trying to make.
Right. Where's the joke at? Where's the punchline? Right. This is true.
Like I don't even this next year I'm gonna do more card stuff because I kind of miss it.
Let me ask you, Mark. Though I have a question for you. For all kidding aside, I know we kind of joked a moment ago about having a sports card collecting channel without showing sports cards.
Right.
But for you, what do you enjoy watching? Because I know you have a very, you're obviously you look at things differently. I'm speaking, and tell me if I'm wrong, but it looks like you're looking for opportunities that you can find something that maybe you can laugh or you can enjoy, that you find the comedy in the ridiculousness, or maybe in the seriousness, but you find the comedy because people take things so serious on YouTube sometimes, and you poke fun at it and just stick holes all in it to make light of it. So when you're looking for yourself, what are you looking for and what do you enjoy looking at? Either for maybe a bit you might do later or for your own personal enjoyment.
Most of all, I just want to see like what my friends are up to.
Sure.
If they get a card or they're showing off a set or whatever, I want to check that out. There are a few guys, they have, thousands and thousands of subscribers or whatever, but I just find them so ridiculous that I can't help but just tune in every once in a while. Just like, I can't help it. They just fascinate me. Like it's so funny to me. But other than that, if I'm like working on a set, like my 68 set I'll like look up 1968 tops and see people running through their sets. But mostly right now, because I go through cycles, but mostly right now it's just like checking in on friends. And honestly, I struggle with it. I feel Let me see how many people I'm subscribed to. It's a lot. Is there a way to see it? I think I subscribe to like 450 channels. So, I miss videos from people that I have a connection with, and it sucks. But how do you guys manage that? Do you guys have like a short list of channels that you watch?
Go ahead, John. Let you go first, sir.
I don't know the number, but it's a good bit. I subscribe to a lot. I like to support the community as much as possible. My problem is I don't feel like I comment enough because I watch a lot of it on my TV, my smart TV, and you can't comment.
Right.
So, to get that real interaction, people appreciate when you're when you're making comments on their videos and you have that interaction. And I hear that over and over and over again. And when you watch the YouTube votes, you always see the guys say, "Oh, well, I became friends with him. Oh, he interacts. He comments on my videos. We interact a lot." They always vote for people that are interacting with them, and that certainly helps you get subscribers if you're into that. If that's what you want to do, and it certainly makes people feel better when you're interacting and commenting on their videos, right? And so I need to get better about watching them on my phone and computer, I guess, and being able to comment. But yeah, I subscribe to a lot, and I try to watch.
And it's funny. The thing I think about is, and it is what it is, but to kind of balance what both of y'all were saying is, for me, I don't subscribe to a lot of people because I care about the friendships, like you were saying initially, Mark. Like I'm more interested in the collection. Like with John, I'm never going to own a Jackie Robinson anything. This is a reality. Like unless I luck into it some way, it ain't going to happen. But I can enjoy the fact that John can show it on his channel, and I'm like impressed, of course, by it. But I'm also appreciate that he can share his journey, the stories, some stats, whatever. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
but,
you have a connection. You have a connection with it versus
because I have a connection with John,
card.
right?
Yeah.
If John, if like, let's just say some dude named whatever Bob, not Bob Lewis, but some guy named Bob shows that exact same card.
Random name.
Right. He shows that exact same card. I could care less, because I don't have no connection to that guy, right? But John, I can appreciate because I am friends with John. We talk offline, we talk through texting, whatever, like I do with you, Mark. 68 tops. Not my thing. I'm not a set collector, but I reached out to you and I try to help you out with your set a little bit. I enjoy your videos, and I think that's what it's about. But honestly, like that's the reason why, like, I don't know if you all saw, but like Spidey, Aranya Boys, he put he has like almost 1,300 people he subs to. Like that's just not that's not even in a realm of reality for me. I don't know if he was joking or not, or that might be serious, but
I have a feeling he was being serious.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way. So, I mean, for me, it's about the relationships and the friendships I built with people. And, and we all know there's guys out there who's like, they show up on your channel, they want to interact with you because they want you to go and sub to their channel. And then after a couple videos, they just disappear.
Yeah.
And they're no longer invested. Like I unsubscribe to those people like immediately. Like I might go give them a shot, but after I like comment on some of their videos and they just disappear, I'm like, I'm not spending any time wasting on you because like you said earlier, Mark, it's like the people you really like fall through the cracks now because you have to keep up with like dozens and dozens and dozens of channels that you probably don't even really care about in the long run.
Right.
So
well, they just do stuff that I'm just not into.
Right.
Just not interested.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I don't know about you two. I know Mark, maybe you a little bit more than John, but I don't have any interest in like pack and box break channels at all. I don't have any interest whatsoever. I much rather people show individual cards or care packages or eBay or card shop or card show wins and show their collection than just them opening random boxes of like Top Stadium Club Chrome nonstop.
Right.
I could care less.
Like I don't have anything against those
some pack
people.
rippers, but I don't. you know, I watch them here and there, but I'm with you. It's just not something I enjoy. They take a long time, and they're always fumbling with the packs, and you got to wait, and then, you know, might be 4 packs before something good pops, and you know, I don't know. It's just not my thing, but they're obviously popular, and a lot of people love to see that. I will tune in when there's a product that I'm interested in to see what it looks like and what kind of pulls they get, and I think that's the allure with it, really. Is that if there's a product coming out and you know, oh, let me see the new tops and he's opening some. Yeah, let me tune in. You know, I think it's a very valuable thing to have on YouTube. And it's one of those things you like to have when you want to see it. You know what I mean? But you might not watch every single video.
And I think, let me ask you this. Well, I want Mark to, if Mark wants to respond, like, are you much into those type of channels that are the real popular channels that seem to like have the crazy amount of subs, like the pack breaks and box breaks channels? Or are you not really much into that, Mark? Because I know you said you like to watch videos, but are those things that you find enjoyable, or are you?
I'm the same. I'm the exact same as John. Like, I subscribe to those channels, but I'm not really gonna watch unless it's a new product coming out. Like, just like he said, like, check out what Topps looks like, the new design, like, see the cards and whatever. But I'm not really as interested in you know, seeing what this person gets. It's like, I wouldn't watch somebody at the gas station scratching up their lotto tickets, you know, like I don't win anything if you get money, you know what I mean? Like, that's what it feels like.
Right. Yeah.
I have nothing against those people at all. Like, you know, a big box breaker channel, 2 of the nicest guys in the community, Mike and Luke over at Up North Collectors. Those guys are awesome. It's just, it's not my thing. And just like John said, also, those videos really run long. And I, at this stage in my life, like with my job and my kids, like I often will only have a minute or two. And I just have to, if I'm on YouTube, I try to find a friend's video, and a lot of times I can't even finish it, but I'll like kind of jump through or speed it up. I don't know.
Right. Well, I mean,
I like the quick hitter videos, the short ones.
Yeah.
Myself.
Well,
quite
I honestly, like
and it might look like it. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
I was just gonna say, you know, I post a lot of videos, and it might look like I have a lot of time, but I literally like will pop in, make a quick video, and upload it. You know, just to stay active and keep uploading videos. You know, sometimes it'll be like I come out of work, I got some new card in the mail I want to show real quick. I get on there and then I go back to work because there, you know, I work a lot, so I don't have a whole lot of free time. And that's the one thing with YouTube is, you know, it takes time to watch everybody's video you want to watch. It takes time every day, you know, to keep up. So.
Yeah, I mean, for me, again, personally, you know, I don't have, you know, if I know the person, if I like a if I like an individual, like Mike O is a good example, because he's really good about showing new product on his channel. But you know, Mike O shows lots of stuff, and he's talking to you about the product. He's talking to you about the players, and that way you're like learning something while he's opening the product, and he actually is enjoying it. And then, like you said, a lot of times he recaps the video for what he has. So if you don't even want to watch the break, you can just scroll past and see like the quote unquote hits, or like you said, see what the cards look like, and then you're done. You're good to go. You know, you don't gotta sit there for 45 minutes and watch every single card of like Trevor Bauer and like Acuna and like, you know, whatever. You don't have to worry about it.
Wow, I do like that. Jason, did you just name 2 modern baseball players?
I know. I can't believe. I figured for all the youngsters out there watching this video right now. But so let me ask you all this question. This might be a fun question to ask. I don't know if I've ever asked this before. I'll start with you, John. What is one guy or gal that you watch on YouTube that people might be surprised that you watch?
Oh man, I don't know if they'd be surprised. Zombie Collector.
That's what my son just said.
I do miss the zombie rants. I have to be honest. I mean, there was nothing better than a zombie rant when you used to drive in your car and it'd be like dark out, and you just see the moon, and Jason would just talk for an hour. It always amazes me, Jason, how much you can just talk, like without interruption. Like you go live and you can literally And I'm a talker, believe me, but I don't think I could just get on there with no interaction and just spew off the top of my head for an hour. You know,
sometimes
I
like to pretend like Jason's not even live, but he just sits at his computer and just like talks like he does, just like to the wall.
Like this is a raving old man is screaming off in the distance.
Me and Bob had that. We were joking how you're at the library and you're gonna get like kicked out or something.
Well, you know what? I did in the summer. If you all remember, in late spring, there's a couple videos where I'm like holding my camera out to the backyard.
I know.
And I'm doing a couple, and like the people around my house, like my neighbors are like, "What is he doing?" Like they're like, "Is he some crazy person?" Like I'm just yelling at my phone as I'm just like waving it around in the sky. And and they're like old people, so they don't even get what's happening. They're like super confused. and then like later on that day, they come over and be like, "Is everything okay, Jason?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Coco," or whatever, because my her name's Coco. And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good, Coco." She's like, "Okay, that's good. I saw in your backyard." so yeah.
So Jason, let me ask you this: like when you go and you do a rant, and like you easily speak your mind and everything. Like, do you try to be controversial?
I don't know. I mean, I know.
Like, do you have a strategy? I guess. Because I get it.
No, I honestly.
I find a lot of what you say is almost like a dry sense of humor, like a sarcastic sense of humor, and I don't think everybody gets that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think so. I mean, when I turn the camera on. Obviously, I have a vague recollection of what I'm going to talk about because there's a topic, obviously, that I'm gonna speak about, and then I just kind of just go. I mean, there's really no like formulation of like what I'm going to speak about because sometimes those things will go 5 minutes, sometimes they'll go like 12 or 14 minutes. You just never know. But I mean, for me, at the end of the day, I think that a lot of people feel the way I do, and I could be wrong, but they just don't say it. And maybe it's cathartic for other people to hear someone else speak about these things. Kind of goes back to what we were talking about with Mark and you earlier about comedy. And, of course I want to say things that are funny. Like I think of myself as quasi-entertaining. I think I'm hopefully a little bit funny to some people, not just funny looking, but actually funny and stuff, doing stuff like that. So I do enjoy it. But I mean, for me personally, I think, people do have a hard time separating what I'm saying with the comedy I'm trying to share with it. Like I'm trying to share what I believe is truths or observations, and people get really butthurt if it hits close to home and they take it a little bit too personal. Like I don't really attack anybody in those rant videos. Aside from Mike Moynihan back in the day, but I've been better about that.
He's been on your channel now.
He's even been on my channel, right.
I thought you guys made up.
But aside from, what'd you say?
I thought you guys made up. That was all cool now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like from back.
That was like the day the Berlin Wall fell. That's what it felt like. It was a historic day.
Right, I have chips of the wall I have in my house right now that I got placed up.
David Hasselhoff is playing. Yeah.
It wasn't the card burning. It was zombies' response to the card burning.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, really at the end of the day,
say this. I just wanted to say I was out of town when all that went down, and I remember I came back and I'm looking through the videos, and I came across you. I'm like, what the heck is going on? And because I hadn't seen Mike's video and this and that, and I'm seeing all the responses and the hate comments, and I remember I came back. I'm like, man, I was away. I see a lot of things happen. So my video, I'm like. I'm no drama, just cards, and I showed some cards because there was a lot going on.
I gotta see.
I remember that video.
I happened to be on YouTube. I happened to be on YouTube when Mike uploaded that video, and my first reaction was, "This is funny." I'm like surprised he's doing this, and then I was like, "Man, this is not gonna go over well. This was a mistake." But I will say that it was funny. Like, I think if I posted that exact same video, I would get my like normal 2 thumbs down, but it wouldn't have been a controversy at all. It would not have.
Yeah, I was about ready to say, if it was somebody else, I think it would have been nowhere near the response for sure.
Yeah. That was probably.
Yeah, I mean, I understood what he was.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I understood what he was trying to do, and I mean, you when you're on YouTube or whatever, you put yourself out there, you try some things. So sometimes you say something. You're out at a dinner in a mixed group, and it's funny in your head, and then when it comes out, you're like, oh, you like immediately regret it, like it didn't come out the way you thought, or it's not taken the way you meant it. That
Dude,
kind of thing.
that's like the story of my life, man.
I wasn't like offended by that video when I watched it, but I'm like, oh, people aren't gonna like this.
They're not gonna like this.
Yeah. And I mean, that goes back to like maybe. I mean, I know Mark will have the same, maybe some similar things. There's like some videos that Mark has done that probably could upset people by the way they perceive his videos or his sense of humor or his lack of seriousness, like by making fun of them or lampooning the ridiculousness of the investor mindset right now and blah, blah, blah. I mean, have you had any blowback on your videos? I mean, at all?
Me?
Yeah, you. Yeah.
Not really. I think people get it. I think people either they get it and they think it's funny or they just think it's not funny. I don't think there's any like other camp that's like I don't think I ever come off as mean-spirited or whatever.
Right.
I try really hard not to. The only people I'll ever go after are like the titans in the hobby that don't interact with anybody. I don't feel bad going after those guys.
Right.
I even guys in our like if someone's like a real a-hole or something, I'm not gonna go after them. I don't know. It's just it's not my style. I don't want to cramp your style, Jason. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be able to present the facts like you. I just kind of I just try to have fun.
Right.
I try to get
I mean, go ahead, John.
I just wanted to say that he hit on something because that's what I get kick out of you, and people might be surprised that you and I communicate, off of YouTube or whatever, because like I'm not that way. Like I would never get on camera and talk bad about somebody. Like I just wouldn't. I mean, maybe some of the coaches we have, on some of my teams when I'm frustrated. But not in a hateful, mean way or anything like that. But I just would never do that. And like your point when you were saying that, people tune in because you say things they won't or whatever. I mean, there's probably a lot of truth to that. It's like opposites attract or whatever.
Right. And and we all know, we've talked about this already, kind of hitting around about it. YouTube and like social media in general is a cesspool of hate anyways, and people that brings eyeballs to the channel and to everything. And, obviously when I first started out doing that and and that's it never even crossed my mind. I was just being myself. I was just saying, this is what frustrates me about the hobby or about the sport or about politics being intermingled into it or about our YouTube community or whatever. Pick the topic because I've done hundreds probably at this point. And I mean, but it was surprising at how many people would watch those videos and people that would never comment on my regular video of like showing like a Kenji Jojima card. If I was showing this card right now, nobody would even care less. They'd be like, who is this guy? Why is he showing them the card? If I get up there and talk about, the Cincinnati Reds completely screwing something up and that the coach, like you said, is a moron or what, then people show up for it. So, I mean, it is what it is. And the thing that really upset me was that people that were in our community who like were all around other people's channels, like I would see them communicate on a regular basis with other people, but they never came to my channel ever to like support me and what I was doing. They were the first ones to comment like some kind of, retort on my, Jason Handy videos or whatever. And that just bothered me because that to me is like, they're just like little snakes in the grass waiting to strike. They don't really care about anything I'm saying 95% of the time. But the one time I do a video that they don't like, they want to like come up and try to challenge me, or whatever, which I'm fine with that. But it shows what kind of person that they are. They just want the drama. But they don't want to actually have like a real back and forth. So
yeah.
But anyways, you all have encouraged me to go ahead and do a new Jason Handy video. So it's coming soon, 2021, and I already have a couple topics. Don't worry.
Can you give us a sneak peek?
Yeah.
You don't have
ready?
to.
No, man, I'm fine with it. So AJ Hinch got hired back for baseball after he got bounced from the Arizona Astros. He's got brought back. That's one I want to talk about, and also the Boston Jose Correa. Was it Joey Cora, the Boston Red Sox coach? He's back after a year. Whatever his name was, he's going to be back.
Cora? Talking about Cora?
Yeah, the one who was the Red Sox coach who also got wrapped up in it. He's back.
Cora.
There is also the topic I want to talk about, which is going to be like Verlander and a couple other guys got caught up in a legal battle with them manipulating the baseballs.
Oh, with the Angels employee.
Yes.
I was gonna make a joke about that.
Right. So don't worry. I got plenty of firepower. That's not even talking about. I know, Mark, you don't like talking about this, so I won't get into it. But obviously, the politics and the social stuff of baseball. So
I don't care. What do you mean? I don't like to talk about it.
there's sometimes I feel like you like to try to stay away from that in the public realm. So I didn't want to make you uncomfortable.
Well, thank you for considering that. I see what you're saying.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I'm a good guy. Like if people know me in real life, I'm a decent guy. I'm not just a blowhard.
Everybody knows that you're a good guy though. And if they don't, then I don't know. They'll have to meet you at the National. And they're going to be like, wait, I thought you were going to be some kind of douchebag.
They're like, and then as soon as I walk away, they're like, yeah, he is. He's a douchebag. So, hey, John. So
now, Jason, when you go to National, do you wear your hat sideways like that? Or do you wear it straight?
I feel like...
You better not do that in Chicago, dude. Not when you come to Chicago.
Yeah, I'm going to wear that. I'm gonna have a bandana hanging from my back pocket, hanging all the way down. And I'm going to have a fanny pack.
You have to have a fanny pack.
Yeah,
fanny pack game. I would like to point out you have 2 downvotes on this live stream, so those are probably my 2 downvotes, and I apologize for that.
Oh, that's okay. I don't.
It's probably all of us.
Yeah, that's
dude.
True.
I'm telling you, all my videos have 2 or 3 downvotes. All of them.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I had like a stalker for a while that. Like within minutes of me posting a video, it would have a dislike, and this went on for months before they finally. I don't know. They must have moved on with their lives, because I mean, what kind of person you have to be to subscribe to somebody just so you can hurry up and dislike their video as soon as it comes out? Like I don't know if it's some old girlfriend that I made mad or some girlfriend's boyfriend. I don't know, but it just seems weird to me.
Well,
but I don't usually get a lot of dislikes, except when I do a Hall of Fame vote ballot, and then I get attacked.
Right. Well, like you did. The reason why was because my name was mentioned. There's a few people. It's so funny. The people who complain about thumbs down, like bothering them, and that's like so petty and childish, are the first ones to thumbs down other people's videos.
I thumbs down a video today.
There you go.
I thumbs down a video today for the first time in a long time, and I'm not going to say what the video was. But this guy, he's not super active in the community. I don't know if he was before, but I remember 2 years ago now, he just went on this crazy tirade against someone else in the community. I don't even remember who it was. But he went on this tirade against this guy. And I was like, man, what happened here?
I think I remember that.
And then I find out that people are like, oh, that guy's an a-hole and all that stuff. So that guy is like a huge anti-baseball collector guy. Huge.
Yeah.
And he posted his Hall of Fame ballot. And it's just like, he just came off so douchey and all this stuff. I was like, I really consciously thought about it. I was like, I think I'm gonna dislike this. Like, this video deserves a dislike. This guy's being an asshole, so I'm gonna dislike it. You know, like normally I'll just back away, whatever. I'm just gonna go. And I'll tell you what, it felt great. Like I can kind of see why people dislike videos. It felt nice.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. The thing I never get though is like it. You know, I understand like somebody saying something controversial or they're throwing their opinion out there. Right. You know, it's easy to dislike, but like some kids on there going, "Look, I got these baseball cards today. You know, let's take a look at them. Here's the baseball card I got today." And, you know, people are going to dislike that. Like, what's there to dislike? Yeah,
I don't understand that.
Like, why are you going to bring, you know, negativity to that? I just don't get that.
No.
Yeah, like, I've heard quite a few people in the community who have, like, kids that come in their videos. A lot of times people will thumbs down their videos because their kids are in those videos. And I'm like, who does that? You know what I'm saying? Like, like, you know, that's just, that to me is just so like such a crappy thing to do to somebody. It's like, you know, it's like a personal attack on their family, even though it doesn't need to be that deep, but it feels a little personal, you know? So I definitely get it for sure. So yeah, it is what it is, but I obviously don't take these things too serious based on how I react and what I say on my videos. I know Mark, he takes it super serious.
Right.
I do. I take it very seriously. Very seriously.
Man. So I'm going to tell you, John.
I mean, I don't take it very.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say I don't take it very seriously, but I mean nobody's going to feel good and nobody's going to like to get dislikes, right? Like it's not going to make you feel good. But yeah, you can't. It's kind of like the idea of there's always going to be people in the world that don't like what you're doing.
Right, and I mean,
I'm the same way. I get a dislike, and of course, like John's saying, I'm not gonna be like, oh, nice, I got a dislike, but it doesn't like ruin my day. But it's just it kind of makes me laugh a little bit. Like I forget what video I posted recently, but it was an instant downvote, and it was like a 2-minute video. It's like, dude, it's been up for like 10 seconds. Give it a chance.
They haven't even seen it all, right?
Like you're probably not gonna like it, but at least watch it and then dislike it.
Yeah.
It's
I just shake my head like this is the one that got the dislike. Like they could have disliked this one, I could see, but this one, I mean, it was harmless. Like it didn't. It's a short little video, you know. Or I just don't get it sometimes.
Well, I think for me, a lot of times I think people when they do dislike a video, no matter if it's me or anybody else, I think it's just sometimes they just like you all said, like they're just sad people who just live horrible lives and they just want everybody to be as sad and pathetic as they are. That to go around, you know, thumbs down in everybody's videos all day long. It's like, you know, I could care less about it. It doesn't do a single, thing for me. I could care less. Like,
well, joke's on them because I'm already as pathetic as possible. So I can't get any more pathetic.
No.
So.
Gotcha. Like that. Oh my gosh. So hey, John, I want to ask you a question. So, I know that you show me sometimes cards you're picking up off YouTube, of course, like through texting. Do you have a card? Do you have a card coming, or a card you're looking to get here coming up soon that you're going to be able to show off sooner than later?
I have a few, nothing extra special. But yeah, I always have something coming usually.
Now let me ask you: I was watching somebody's channel. I think it was Silver Jackify's channel. Do you ever watch him at all?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes. Did you see his most recent video where like his top 10 or 20 cards have been going through the roof over the last like month and a half? So let me ask you this. I think a lot of people were saying like vintage cards and the quote unquote bubble, it'll burst. Everything's gonna go back down to normal. Maybe modern stuff will keep going up or have a sustain. But that video kind of tells me that that's actually not happening because he was showing cards that were like from the 60s and 70s and 80s, even the 90s, that are still going through the roof. Like he was showing 20% in gains in 1 month, 40%, 100%. So, I mean, for you who collects, you're collecting quality over quantity. So for you, have you changed your strategies at all in trying to purchase cards?
Yeah, I have a few things to say. First, I collect quantity over quality.
I don't know about that, dude. I don't know about that.
Yeah. So this whole boom thing, and I told you on the last 2 videos that I thought, it had further to go. I told you that. So then what happened?
You did.
They come out with over a $5 million sale on this Mickey Mantle card, and I'm upset that this happened because now everybody and their brother sending me the article. Everybody and their brother called me saying, "Hey, my friend has a garage filled with whole cases, unopened boxes," because everybody from the 90s has a garage filled with unopened boxes. And now everybody thinks that all their cards are worth $5 million, So it's kind of, to us collectors, it can be annoying, right? And then the other thing is, and I never understood the Mickey Mantle card, to be honest with you. I never have. It's not a rookie card. There's 2 cards of him in 1951. It was a double print. Yes, I understand that there's a rumor that they made so many of those cards and overproduced so many that they took them into the Hudson and threw them off the side of a boat. But I have to tell you that there is no scarcity in the 52 Mickey Mantle card. Now, of course, that was a Mint 9. I'm sure there's a scarcity for a Mint 9. But the card itself is not rare. It's not like the Honus Wagner that is inherently rare, right? Like that Mickey Mantle, you can go on eBay right now, and I guarantee you'll find at least 15 to 30 of them right now, at any given time. So it's not. So I never understood why that card just has blown up, and what it has done that I find as a collector now, not an investor, but as a collector to be a negative, is it has risen all his other cards up too. And there's no real reason why in 1954, Mickey Mantle should be sold for so much more than a Willie Mays. There's just no reason for that. But it's just that it's the same with Honus Wagner. I don't know if it's caught up now. I don't follow the pricing every single day, but for years, Honus Wagner seemed to carry more of a value for his regular old cards than Ty Cobb did, or some of the other greats of that era, just because of that Wagner card. It's that stigma. Wagner's the top selling card in the hobby, and then it became, Mantle became the second biggest. So those 2 players alone, there's no bargains to be had with either of those names really, if you're buying main cards. So a lot of collectors will go to secondary things like your sporting news supplements, or like I forget what it's called, but there's a decal of Mickey Mantle, stuff like that. Sorry, I went off on a little tangent there.
No, not at all, dude. No, I appreciate it. So what about you, Mark? I'm going to ask you this kind of similar question. Somebody who's collecting 68 tops with with the bubble that seems to supposedly going to burst any minute that people were saying a few months ago.
I was saying that a year ago.
Right, yeah. Going on a year, up to a couple months ago, saying it's going to happen. It can't sustain itself. But here we are heading into February and no bubble bursting. Do you, as somebody who's collecting a set, a lot of players in that set are Hall of Famers or All-Stars and Superstars, are you seeing those prices rise across the board still?
God, yes. Look at the Nolan Ryan rookie card. It just keeps going up, man. Like, thinking back to the National in 2019, there was just like a stack of them. And I remember I should just buy one now. And I was thinking, you know what? I can just buy one of those whenever I want. Like, who cares? Whatever. And I think it's like 4 or 5 times that amount now for that same card. And it's just like, it's hard for me to get past that and pay that price. Pay the prices now when not that long ago they were, a quarter of that price. It's really hard for me to get past that. And that has led me to really just kind of sitting on my hands for a little bit just because I refuse to do it. But the risk there is that, what does those back pages say? He says, today's high prices are tomorrow's values. Like, you don't know. You just don't know.
Yep. Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, I have stopped buying some of the, going after some of the. There's just certain cards I don't even consider now. They've just gone up so much. But I'll tell you, for anybody who collects vintage, there are still deals to be had out there. There's a lot of obscure cards, some of them very rare, that I mean I've been getting for next to nothing because everybody's chasing those rookie cards. Another phenomenon I've never understood, why the rookie card should be worth 10 times what the second year card was worth. I've never understood that. I remember when I was a kid, and I was probably a teenager at this point when they first started coming out and using the term rookie card. And this phenomenon began really with the Don Mattingly card, right, in '84. And that was the first time I remember, because when I was a little kid, I actually used to want to have the last card of a player because I figured that was the last time a card that would ever be issued for them. And I had the backward thinking there. And boy was I wrong as far as investment price, but I was a kid. So I remember when that rookie card came out, and I just never understood it. And so what happened? They started doing prospects and this and that. Then they have all these prospect sets, right? Like minor league sets, prospect sets. And if maybe one or two players even come out of there. And so like I had all these prospect sets from the 2000s, early 2000s, and I look at them 15 years later and I'm throwing them all away. I don't know a single player on the whole sets like this. And at one time I was so excited. I had it in a binder. I had the whole set put together. And it's junk now. You know what I mean? Like nobody knows any of these players. And so that's one thing. Like when you're putting sets together now, it's kind of disappointing when you have all these rookies who you've never heard of. But yet, like if you're a completist and you want the set, you kind of got to keep them with the set because they're part of the set. It's always frustrated me a lot. But I've never understood the whole rookie thing. So then they started making cards younger and younger and younger until you have that stupid Mariano Rivera rookie card, where he looks like he's at the high school prom or something. He's in street clothes. And I always joke around. I'm like, I don't want to date you guys. I don't want to keep a picture of them in my wallet when they're 14 because everybody's chasing. They wanted a card of younger and younger and younger. And it's like, what's next? You want to take a baby picture? There's a
dude. It's gonna be the scan. It's gonna be the baby
scan.
And
in the background. Yeah, right. So in the background of this card is Patrick Kane when his dad took him to the game, and he's a little kid. And this card carries a premium to have a picture of Patrick Kane as a baby in the background. Now, it's a really cool card. It's a unique card. So I get that. But, you know my point. Like, where do you draw the line? You want them in 7th grade? You want them in Little League? Like, how far back do you want to go? It got like that for a while, where it just got crazy, ridiculous.
Well, I mean, I'm sure I'm not telling you all anything you don't know, but if you watch the Mike Trout cards, like people can't afford his rookie cards, so they're going even further back to his prospect cards, or when he was very first, his first single A card, or his right out of college card or whatever. And these cards are now starting to go higher and higher and higher because they can't afford his rookie card. They can't afford his second-year card. His third-year card's starting to go up. So now they're going backwards, like you're saying. They're going to when he was 17 years old, and it looked like he's still, I saw a picture of him today. There's a shot like this, in the camera. And he looks like he's about 17, like he's he just got done with a baseball, a travel baseball game when he's 17-year-old kid. And that card's are $50. And literally, it's 6 days left. It's a Gem Mint 10, 6 days left, and it's $55. And I'm like, it looks like he's 17.
I have a Sean Green. I was a Sean Green fan. I have a rookie card of his, and I've always disliked it just because, he looks like he's 10 in the card. It's like they took this thing way too early. I mean, it's just not to me anyway. It's not as much fun. I'm used to seeing Clemente as an adult, not as a 7th grader or something like that. I don't know. That's me. Everybody, everybody should collect whatever they like to collect, right? Everybody should collect whatever they like to collect. This is your hobby. My collection is my own. I have stuff I probably couldn't give away to people, but I cherish it. And everybody should be that way. So if you love pictures of 7-year-old boys playing baseball, then that did not come out right, by the way.
Yeah.
That did not come out right.
That's where you need the mute button.
I knew it as soon as I said it. We just got 5 more dislikes, Jason. I'm sorry.
That's okay. You're like that guy with the camera from the film. You're like exactly. Oh yeah, gosh, that's hilarious.
It might be time for me to go.
Okay. Well, the FBI will be looking for you. So,
yeah. Yep.
But I appreciate you hanging out with us, John. Of course, man. Always.
Thanks for letting me be part of it again.
All right, brother. We'll get together soon.
Mark, nice hanging out with you.
Nice hanging out with you, dude. Take it easy.
All right. Oh, now we got a couple youngsters. Yeah, here we go. Now, I can loosen my tie a little bit, so I don't got to be so proper.
I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for that when I joined in, when I was naked, shaving.
Yeah, we were naked and shaving. John Mancini saw you in your most exposed way.
Not the most exposed, but pretty close.
Pretty close, but he probably got a picture of it now because he's been collecting those youngsters.
He has a mental picture. Yeah, I like how he just bailed immediately.
Right, he was like, "Oh God,
Whip, I'm out.
I'm out. See y'all later." Like that. Oh man, so I did want to ask you, Mark. You said that you mentioned earlier in the stream, and I thought I want to follow up. You mentioned that 2021 may be the year of the baseball card for you. So, are you looking?
I see what you're saying.
You're looking to start collecting a little bit more. Maybe more, focus more on cards. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but what are your thoughts? I mean, we're in January.
You don't want to put words in my mouth? Is there?
Well, hold on. Let's put our mics on mute. But
okay.
But I mean, what are your thoughts moving for your own personal collection? I mean, obviously we know you're a White Sox fan. The White Sox look to be going to be pretty awesome this year on paper. Right,
yeah,
right there.
Thank you for clarifying on paper.
Yeah, on paper.
That is important.
Yeah, because everybody starts out, has a good record the first day of baseball. So where are you at right now with your thoughts on this?
Earlier, I think you're referring to my comment like this next year. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to be purchasing more cards because I feel like it's just so crazy. I would like I'd like to finish the majority of my 68 set this year, but I'm not going to break the bank for a Ryan rookie, in a low grade. I'm just not going to do it. I'd rather just wait, and if the prices never come down, then someday I'll shell out for it to finish it. But I kind of mean make more videos about my collection or about actual like hobby things. I will never stop making stupid videos, but I just mean just more like actual baseball card stuff, I would like to do more with that this year. Cuz I do this stuff, I don't make videos about it,
So, is there certain ideas you have or topics that you would like to kind of like put out there in the interwebs that you're thinking about, or that you think that need to be brought to the forefront?
Are you talking about like serious things?
No, comedy videos like bits.
I actually, I'm gonna do a little. I did a little video recently called Cardboard Update, and it's kind of like Weekend Update style.
Yes.
That
was great, by the way.
I can definitely see a lot of people not thinking it's funny or whatever, but I was home alone, and I wasn't planning on making a video, and all of a sudden I was just like, I want to do this right now, and I thought of those lame jokes, and after I did that, what's up, Vogs? What's up, man? So after I did that, my mind just kept racing, and I was like, man, that was really fun. So I just started writing jokes, and I have like 20 or so jokes written. So I think I'm gonna do that Cardboard Update thing at least a few more times, because just thinking up stupid jokes like when I'm at work, just really bored.
Sure.
I don't know. That it kind of makes the day go by quicker, and just keeps my mind. It just keeps my mind. I I got up at 3:30 this morning, so if anybody thinks I'm drunk right now, I'm just extremely fatigued. Just want to point that out. I saw Dave with the little clinky clink thing. By the way, what's up, Dave?
What's up, Dave? Blue Jacket 66 and the His A.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be doing those cardboard update things, and I actually have a question. So some of the jokes that I have are because honestly, there's only so much you can do if you're gonna like try to make silly baseball card videos. Like there's already only so much you can do with baseball cards, and then to try to like be silly about it, there's even less you can do. And I'm like so like pigeonholed sometimes. Do you think it would make sense to like just make jokes about sports in general, or do you think nobody would care about that?
I honestly think that there's an audience for everything.
Yeah.
I mean, like especially like we talked about earlier, sometimes what some people might think is funny may not be funny to others, and then other people might think it's a riot. Like when I first saw your videos, like I got to be honest, like I didn't know who you were, and I think we probably talked about this off camera. I think before.
Yeah,
But I was like,
did.
I'm like, this guy. What? This guy has. Does he have mental problems? Is this guy like slow? Like like I didn't know what because just like that first video where you're showing the binder, like there's nothing in it. There's like 4 cards in the entire binder you're showing her. I think that's like the first video I ever saw of yours. Like probably the first. That was probably one of your first 10 videos, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how.
Well, that was like if you go before that, my videos are like, "Hey guys, I got this card. You probably don't care or whatever." And then I got this card, and then I just got this card, and then that one was like, "Oh, I could just be myself on here. No one could tell me that this is a dumb ass idea." Right. And I was just trying not to laugh while I was doing that.
Right.
And I mean, honestly, dude, that's why I do it. I do it because it makes me feel like it's like a release for me. Like
sure.
if I have a tough day, tough week, whatever. Like everyone's having a tough time now. But I tell my wife because she asked me about it, and like I'll say, "Oh, I made a YouTube video," and she doesn't give a shit, but she'll be like, "Oh, what was it about?" And I was like, I don't know, it's just so much fun. Like it's just.
I mean, I think it's cathartic, isn't it? I think
it really is. Yeah.
Because it goes back to what John had asked me, like with the videos I do, the Jason Handy, where I'm being a little bit more like I'm being funny, but I might be trying to shine some light on some things that maybe I have a problem with or just think is ridiculous. And for me, like talking about it, getting it out of my system helps. And if and I know you don't do that approach, you're doing more of a funny, like, videos a lot of times, I think, which is great. And sometimes yours is more like, you got to think through it. You got to, like I said.
Yeah, and sometimes even you keep thinking, and then you're like, I'm still not laughing, so I guess it just wasn't funny.
Well, I mean, like I said,
when
I saw that first video, I went back and watched all your videos when I first found you, because Bob told me about you. He was like, dude, I found a guy who might be actually better than me at the sarcastic, dry response humor. And I'm like, really? He's like, this guy's pretty good. And I remember he told me to watch the video of you doing the binder, and I didn't understand. And I'm like, is this guy like ride the short bus to school every day? Like, I don't get it.
Well, you don't know. Maybe I do.
But then when I got to know who you are, I go back and was like, man, this is brilliant. This is brilliant.
I don't think that's the best way to describe it, but yeah,
it is. It really is. So, but I'm sure, like, some people find the humor, obviously they get it, they understand it, and other people are like you've said before, they're like, okay, what is this supposed to be? I wouldn't
do it. I wouldn't do it if I don't really know how to say it without sounding wrong. But like the fact that people don't get it is makes it like more funny for me. I'm glad you liked it, Dave.
Dude, I don't know if I ever told you this because you and I are friends, but after I watched that video, and we were friends at the time you made this video, but not as close as we are now, like I was literally almost pissing my pants. I watched that video like 4 or 5 times in a row. I could not get enough. And Luca was like looking at me like, Dad, because I was like crying. I was laughing so hard. And Luca was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "You just don't understand. This is the most hilarious thing I have ever seen in my entire life." I mean, I didn't think anything on YouTube that I watched that was anything like my friends would do would ever make me crack up so much. I sometimes go back to watch that video. Like if I'm having, like you said, a bad day, I'll go back and watch that video, and that like 3-4 minutes or whatever it is was like, you know what? I don't even remember what's upset. I don't know what was upsetting me. That video was so hilarious.
Well, when I made that video, I don't remember the exact scenario, but I remember I was in like a really bad mood and I was really bummed out about something, and I was just having a really tough day, and I poured myself a glass of bourbon, and I was like, I'm gonna make a dumb video just like for fun or whatever. And I started, and it was like an out of body experience. I just kept going, and I was just getting drunk and I was just laughing. I was having so much fun, and that goes back to what I was saying before. It's like I do this for myself primarily, where it's just it's like you said, cathartic, and it's like a release, and it just feels really good. I don't know. I don't know why it does, but it does.
And there's a part of me, which I've shared, I think, once or twice on YouTube before, like on like personal videos I just posted, you know, like a live stream. But, you know, you as a father, you probably can appreciate this too. Maybe you don't think about it like this. But it's like, you know, I do these videos because this is something for my son to see down the road. You know?
Sure. Yeah.
You know, we're not going to be here forever. I mean, that's just the reality.
I'm going to live forever, actually.
Well, if you're offline here, I want you to tell me how you did it. But I mean, I think it's like something that it's like, you know, it's a time capsule of what we're doing, what we're into, the world we live in. And I think that has something to do with some of the topics I bring up, because it's in that moment. Those topics are irrelevant right then and there. You know,
yeah.
No one cares. No one's going to care as much about the cheating the Astros did in 30 years. But a year ago, year and a half ago,
I think people might. But I see.
Yeah,
I understand your point.
But you know, it won't feel the same level of heat, let's say, that it did at that moment, right?
Absolutely like, true. Yes, absolutely true.
So you know, just to throw that out there. So I mean, I feel like, you know, or even us, we as people, we could go back in our own videos and go, oh, that's what I was at, you know, 13 years ago or 10 years ago, you know. So that to me, there's a lot of it to do with that as well, to kind of think about what he can see in the future. So,
yeah. Yeah, I know. Oh, thanks, Gary. He's not a fan of me. Gary says he's not a fan. That's nice.
I'm about to say about,
dude.
I like that video,
dude. Lou,
that's awesome.
Lou, that video that you're referring to, I get hater comments on that all the time. To this day, this is the video I was talking about.
You're talking about
the one I was referring to. That I will just randomly just get somebody posting a hater comment on it. And it's like, dude, how can you not? First of all, that video, like I would do it totally different now. Like maybe I should do that video again. Actually, it's way too long. It's way too long, but. I summon a demon in the video and people think I'm like being serious. Right. It's like, dude, I summoned a demon and you think I'm being serious. Like, I get that they didn't get to that part in the video, but if you're going to like post like all this scathing stuff, at least watch the whole thing. Just like,
oh my God.
Just like John was saying earlier, at least watch it before you say it. Right. And then I get it. You know, if somebody posts something like, this isn't funny or whatever, I won't question it for a second. I won't question it at all because humor is subjective. And there's a lot of people that wouldn't think anything I did was funny. So I totally get that. Right. But if somebody if somebody calls me like a shyster or something, it's like, dude, how stupid are you? How dumb are you? Like,
I would figure that word's no longer in vogue. You can't use that word anymore.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I'm joking, by the way.
Remind me about that. Text me about it. Or next time we talk. I have a really funny story about that at work, but I can't.
I can't wait.
I can't talk about it.
Oh my gosh, yeah, Mike, you're right. I need to change my draws, dude. That was when I think about some of these videos that Mark has done. I start laughing because I remember the demon summoning. I totally forgot about that until you brought it up again. Oh my God.
Hey, Purple GT, are you still in the hospital, dude? Man? Are you still in the hospital? Are you feeling better?
What was Steve in the hospital for? Do we know? Is it private? Maybe I don't want to say.
He posted a video about it. I don't think it's private, but I'll let him if he wants to. He was having a tough time.
Sure. Okay, I gotta calm myself down. Like, come back and scene.
Yeah. I was
gonna ask you, Mark. You may know how to do this. Have you ever? There was a guy that I accidentally like blocked from this live stream. Do you know how to unblock somebody or put them where they're back in? They back in because he's messaging me personally on my text, and I feel bad because I can't get him back in here. I don't know how to put him back in.
Do you know who it is?
Yeah, his name's Gary Von Erich. That's
Gary
his YouTube
Bing
name.
Scott.
No, not Bing Scott. No, he's next though. If he steps out of line.
Did he Well, actually, Gary is a moderator in here, so.
Yeah, Gary. I know. I was just joking. Gary, by the way.
Did you bounce him in on YouTube or through StreamYard?
On StreamYard.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I didn't think I did. I think I hit the wrong button or something. I thought I put him in a timeout.
And then like put him in a timeout?
Yeah, well, at the time I didn't realize who he was. Like I know he goes by Elbow Sausage in YouTube, but he put himself as Gary Von Erich in here or something. I was like, this guy's being a douchebag. Boom, you're gone. And then I realized, then he was like, dude, it's me. And I'm like, oh my gosh. that was like 3 weeks ago.
Same team.
I know. I felt so bad, and now I don't know how to get him back. I feel bad.
Yeah, dude, I'm trying to find it, but I don't know. I'm glad to see he's feeling better.
That's good.
He's out. Yeah, he had COVID, but he's out. He was he was hospitalized. That's good to hear, man.
Right. I think, I don't know, maybe Gary Big Scott did something that I can't get on there. He's like, he purposely banned him forever. He used his own summoning demon powers. And he banned Elbow Sausage, aka Gary Von Erich.
That made people uncomfortable that I summoned a demon. That made people uncomfortable, and I was like, dude, it was a dictionary.
I feel like that's what libertarians do every 4 years.
That's right. You summon a demon. That's right.
No, I mean I'm just glad that your videos are just. I mean, I don't even think I've seen you do a serious video in forever.
Maybe.
Like, honestly,
I can't, dude. I can't. Even if I wanted to, I can't do it.
Yeah.
You should help me. I was thinking of a joke for that cardboard update, and I don't know if I should do it. It's about Jab's family. It's about Jab's family. Do you think I should do it? It's like really.
You already
outdated.
know I'm gonna say yes. You know, because
I figured.
Well, did you see my last live stream I did a couple days ago before? I know you watched it, where like there was people in this YouTube community who were like literally voting for Jab's family as to get into the YouTube Hall of Fame.
Oh, seriously?
And I'm like, I'm like these morons. I'm like, literally, these are the stupidest people, like this side of the world. I mean, like, what are you doing? Like, you're like literally, like I heard a toilet flushing when I heard them mention that, because that's exactly what it was. I'm like, they were like mentioning Phil's polls and Jab's family and like PSA collector. I'm like, these people don't even know you exist. And the only time they do is when you pay them money or send them stuff. I'm like, and you think these people actually could care less of what like all of us little YouTubers are doing with our YouTube Hall of Fame? I'm like, that you are literally an idiot. Like if I look underneath Webster's dictionary right now for stupid idiot, those people's names would be on there right now. I'm like,
I don't understand it. I don't.
Yeah, it's like an alternate universe.
Something else that I like, we're not quite to that tier you're talking about, but the guys below that want to be Jabs. You know what I mean? You know the type.
Yeah, like Filmington. Yeah.
No. No, like I'm not gonna name names, whatever. But they don't. They have like their own thing going on and like whatever, but they're not in the community at all. They make no attempts. It's all about them. It's all about subscribers and all that. And I think it's so funny when something happens with what do you call it? One of these guys, somebody voted for this guy. Mm-hmm. And he put in the comments like he was like, "Wow, like, hey man, thanks brother, like thanks for the vote and all that, whatever, sincerely." But then he's like, "Yeah, I don't think anyone's ever voted for me before. Like, I really appreciate it. I didn't get any votes last year." It's like, first of all, dude, you haven't voted for anybody. You never voted for anybody. And second of all, you don't interact with people outside of your channel at all. So like, Forget yourself, man. Like I don't know. I think it's funny. It cracks me up.
I completely agree. My biggest problem is people, like I said, people who never interact with other people. Like, I feel like I interact with a bunch of people who are bigger channels, and they're smaller channels, and then mid-level channels. I'm all over the place. I'm sure you are too.
Yeah, I hate everybody equally. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I don't see so many of these channels that people talk about. Like I hear people talk about them, but they do not interact with others.
Right.
And I'm like, how can this be the YouTube card community Hall of Fame if it's a one-way street?
I don't get it.
I don't get it. And but like I said, these are the same people who voted for Biden, so I can't understand it anyway.
I mean, this is your stream. This is your stream.
I'm just kidding. I reclaim my time. I apologize.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like this is all about like just connecting with people, man. Like sure. I think it's funny. Like I try so hard, man. Like I try really hard to reply to every comment. I never leave a comment unreplied to, or at the very least I'll like it if there's like nothing I could say about it,
Sure.
I don't know, but it's really hard.
No, I agree. Like every single person since from the very first day that I started a YouTube channel, to my knowledge, I went through and replied to every single comment. I mean, like I think that's the least I could do. Like to what you're saying, like at least say thank you. Heart, check mark, thanks message. It takes you literally 5 seconds. And I mean that's the least I could do. And I go out to people at any channels. Like there's 4 or 5 channels just recently I'm starting to watch. Like have you ever heard of Near Musing Collection or Near Mint
Musing? Yeah.
Yes. I'm starting to watch his stuff. I had heard of him, but I started watching him. I'm really digging what I'm watching with him. And then there's a Hedgehog. I found him recently. I like
Hedgehog?
him. Yeah, Hedgehog.
Well, and how am I gonna find that?
He's an Indiana guy, but he's a Yankee. He likes the Yankees. He opens up some product, but I like him, and he's a really good guy. But there's a handful of guys I'm starting to get into that were newer guys to me, but might have been around for a while. So
can somebody post a link to this Hedgehog guy?
Yeah, can somebody put a Hedgehog in there? I think he's been around for a while, so I think I don't want to say. I mean, like I think within the last year he's been here pretty regularly. But
hey,
I mean,
Sean, stealing.
Yeah, Sean stealing second.
Are you? This is a problem for me. I assume you're joking, but I just want to make sure that you're not joking or that you are joking. Can you just see? This is the problem. I take that so seriously that I just don't want to ignore people ever.
What does Sean say?
Oh, he just said I don't reply to him or something. I assume he's joking. I don't know.
Oh man, I gotta tell you, dude. Let me tell you. Here is a hot take on Sean stealing second. So get ready. So I released my YouTube Hall of Fame ballot yesterday. Sean stealing second is like not just a YouTube channel I follow, but he's actually a friend. We hang out on a regular basis. He calls me yesterday. Literally, I just posted my ballot. And then he goes, "So who you voting for, dude?" And then and at that very moment I realized I did not put him on there. And he did not take it well. So he I felt so bad. And it was funny because if you go back and watch my YouTube video, I'm like, if you don't like it, tough. I don't care less. Like, I don't care. You go cry in your milk, whatever I said. I don't care. And as soon as he called me, I had a moment of immediate regret. I was like, oh my gosh.
What's the big deal?
And because this guy, he can kill me in my sleep. I'm at his house. I'm sleeping on his couch. He could walk downstairs. I mean, if you ever go to Sean's house, it looks like Rambo's cave in Rambo Final Blood or whatever in the last movie. Like when he goes to that cave and it looks like there's every gun, every knife known to man. That's what Sean's house looks like. So I would have to sleep with one eye open like they do in the movie City Slickers to make sure I get out of there alive.
I'm pretty sure last year, Jason, I said I only voted you because you would kill me if I didn't. So it's funny to hear you saying this.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's what I said.
But when I say it, when you think I did it, I'm not because but the only thing I'm gonna give you is a big old hug and a slap a wet kiss on the lips.
Yeah, right. No.
But Sean may actually choke me out. And I don't know. I don't know if I can go to his house anymore because I'm afraid for my life.
You should be. You should be.
Well, and I don't want to.
Now you're good because you're saying this publicly. So if anything happens to you, I'll make sure to alert the authorities. Yeah,
I'm doing this more for self-preservation than I am for anything else.
Exactly.
No. Yeah, I know. I didn't vote. I didn't vote for you, Stove. I didn't vote for Gary. Oh, I'm a terrible person.
I don't care, dude. You think I care?
Yeah, you do. You're gonna get. I'm in trouble now.
If I cared, would I join a live stream and hang out? No.
I don't know. Maybe Bob said that you called him up yesterday and you were really distraught when you found out that I didn't vote.
I haven't even talked to Bob. Where is Bob, by the way?
I think Bob's playing like Mr. Mom.
Damn it.
So
we're trying to do an episode.
I think he's probably trying to get the kiddos squared away. I mean,
trust me, I get it.
But because I think he is gonna go. You all gonna do something? I think you said you all gonna do some recording later.
I'm not. I gotta go to bed, so I won't be able to do it tonight.
My biggest concern is how you all started doing this thing without me. That's what I'm more concerned about.
Well, do you know the story of how it happened?
I think you said that it was because I had took my sabbatical from YouTube, and that's when you started it.
No, well, that's also true. But the story of the Cardboard Podcast, I wanted to do this podcast. It was going to be me interviewing people, having discussions with people. Bob was my first guest, right? So I said, hey, dude, you want to do a podcast with me? Blah, blah, blah. And then, so he was going to be my first guest. And he says something like, oh, I had an idea for this and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, yeah, that'd be cool, whatever. And he's like, oh, yeah, we should, get this person on or do this. And I was like, oh, yeah. He should just do it with me. But it wasn't, that's not how it was going to be. You know what I mean? He didn't, it was my fault for the way I phrased it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was my fault. So, it's not like he invited himself. I just want to make that very clear. And when
that's what it was. We got you. We got what you're saying. You're Bob invited himself to do my thing.
When I picked up on what he was saying, I was like, oh, yeah, let's do it. So that's how it happened. It wasn't any, grand plan or anything like that.
I just think you're trying to get between me and Bob, and this is your best opportunity. I see what's happening here.
I get you. I cannot get between you guys. I will happily just be a third wheel. As long as I'm in the relationship, that's all that matters to me.
Well, you could be like Sean. His real name on his channel was Sloppy Seconds, not Stealing Seconds.
Sloppy.
Sloppy Seconds.
Stealing Sloppy Seconds.
Stealing Sloppy Seconds, Mr. Sloppy Seconds. So
my lighter doesn't work.
So what do you what is it? Is that what is in your hash pipe?
This is pipe tobacco.
Is it pipe tobacco?
Dude, I get drug tested. I don't smoke weed. This is pipe tobacco. This is
I didn't know.
vanilla.
I thought you got a care package from Ron.
Yeah. It is a green screen, Sean. I'm gonna go to my penthouse now.
Yeah.
Here I am in my penthouse.
Nice.
Somebody earlier said they thought this was real. I mean, it does look like relatively good.
It does look, yeah.
You could see
the
like
first
the
time I
lines
saw
over
you
the
do
chair.
that was confused me.
You could see the lines over the chair, like kind of, or a little bit.
Now, is that Wisconsin in the background? Is that like Milwaukee?
I think that's New York.
Oh, okay. So I go, what's up, Ron?
Gary wants a sneak peek of my Hall of Fame ballot.
Oh.
I am very anxious about doing a Hall of Fame ballot. I'm very anxious because I don't.
Let me be a cautionary tale.
Yeah, I don't. I like it. It's like a deep It's like a problem I have about like hurting people's feelings or whatever. Like I get that it shouldn't hurt anyone's feelings. You know what I mean? Like I get that. Like logically, like who cares? But then the fact that it will or it might, like, man, I don't know. Like, and then you have to say the whole thing like, there's lots of people I want to vote for, but yeah, there's only 10 and blah, blah, blah. So I think the main thing is that I want to come up with like a fun video to do, and then I'll do it.
I know mine was pretty fun.
As far as a sneak peek, I will be voting for Jason still, because you're just that good. You're that good that I can't seek revenge on you.
If I get in this year, I'll vote for you next year.
Oh, thanks, man. You know, this could be the last class ever.
It could be. It sounded very much like Mike was doing it because he felt obligated to, not because he wanted to. If we're being real,
I think he really enjoys it, but just dude, there's so much drama. Like,
not from me this year. Hey,
no, I know. I
stayed good.
I know, and I think this is going to be the best year of the Hall of Fame. I really do, because I think people get it. You know what I mean? Like, people are all on the same page about it. Henry S. I don't appreciate Henry. I don't appreciate the fact that I'm being lumped in with those guys. I don't appreciate it. Why does this lighter not work? Like, what is happening? I'm so upset about this.
So I do want to show you, because I want to become a zombie investor.
Yeah,
but
it's all yours.
Let me show you. I picked up something that you may actually like.
Oh, nice. That's sweet. That's awesome.
But this is the one I'm really excited about. I'm talking about investor.
Ooh, baby. Is that the army green or whatever?
Yeah,
dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, I got these for $1 a piece. No free shipping. And maybe I overpaid by 75 cents. We'll find out.
I think I opened some of that in I was on vacation a couple years ago, and I hit I wonder if that's worth anything. It was Vlad Jr. in that green army parallel.
Yeah.
Ed, this was $30.
That was $30?
And this was $100.
Whoa. Now, do you smoke inside your house?
Maybe. Shh.
Oh, we won't tell your wife. Shh. Oh, thanks, George. You're the best too, buddy. I love you like a fat girl loves a banana and peanut butter sandwich.
Fat Elvis.
Fat Elvis.
I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. Why is it not sparking?
Well, this. I want to ask you these questions, Mark. This will be fun because you're a fun and an eccentric and an eclectic guy.
A wild and crazy guy.
Wild and crazy guy like Steve Martin. See, I got that reference. And I didn't have to think about it. I'm just that good. So, yeah. So let me ask you, what is one of your Like your favorite movie of all time.
That's tough.
Let's say favorite comedy.
Dude, that's really hard.
Let's get to know each other better. I think this will be fun. We have like almost 30 people in here. It's like fluctuating between 28 and 31 people pretty frequently. So let's get to know Stove as a loaf better.
Jason, it's not. I'm talking to Fisher Bike. Sorry. It's not a fluid issue. It's not, the flint isn't sparking. Man, I've never been one of those like top song, top band, top movie, top food.
Well, what
people.
do you find yourself going back to then? Like, what's a movie that you'll stop what you're doing and watch? That's a comedy, or if somebody goes, "Hey, let's watch a comedy. What do you want to watch?" That way, it's not your favorite, your top, your number one. Just something that you enjoy watching. I'm not gonna let you off the hook that easily. Come on.
Man. No. I'm not. I would like to figure it out together. Growing up, I was the perfect age for, Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber, the Jim Carrey height.
Yes.
I really like Judd Apatow's stuff. Even further back, like Caddyshack, unbelievably funny, Spaceballs. I feel like they don't really make many funny videos anymore, or any funny movies anymore. Monty Python, absolutely, Monty Python. They don't really make that many funny movies anymore. I kind of like absurdist comedy. I'd say that's probably like my jam that gets me to laugh the hardest now. That kind of exists still, but not as much, because it's not like, it's about things that could never happen, so it's like hard to be offended by it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm pretty basic when it comes to funny stuff. I know, like, right after this, I'll think of a really funny movie that I forgot. I just like Step Brothers. Jason, Step Brothers is all-time classic. It's incredibly funny, but you can't really. I feel like it's not just because audiences won't accept it, because I still think that there's audiences to laugh at stuff. I think that people that write the movies and the actors and stuff, they're just like way more careful not to look like hypocrites or something, or like say something offensive or something that doesn't age well. Because if you're trying to be funny, like, you have to be kind of edgy to a certain degree, and if people don't want to finance those movies, then they're just not going to get made. So like these big scale, like, blockbuster comedy movies, and like even the ones that come out, like, they're just not. I forget what this name of a Will Ferrell movie I saw a few years ago, but it had like Amy Poehler and Will Ferrell in it, two incredibly funny people, and I was like, this isn't funny. I don't know what it is. Like, maybe it's us that have changed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some movies that I thought were funny have not aged well. My wife was telling me recently she saw Dodgeball. I think we talked about this. She saw Dodgeball and she was like, that movie sucks now, or whatever. I haven't seen it, but yeah, Beat the House, Henry. That's what it was. It did suck. It sucked. Tim and Eric $1 billion movie did not suck, Henry. That was funny. But I can see why people would think it was not good.
So for me, for modern day comedy that I would probably put on my number one slot would be Tropic Thunder.
That was the last ballsy comedy, dude. That was the last one.
100%. That's exactly what I was going to say, because there is 100% as of this moment, that movie will never get made again.
That was the Blazing Saddles of this generation.
Yes. If you have not seen the movie, guys, I strongly suggest catching Tropic Thunder. And if you can find the unrated version like myself, it's even more outlandish. It's something that is something to behold. for sure. So yeah. So
BD Kane said if I had to pick a movie, I'm so glad he said The Big Lebowski because that's probably my favorite comedy of all time. If I had to pick one, that's probably it.
Yes.
Also, Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz.
Yes.
I love those. Those are great.
I do too. I would say, for the 90s, Big Lebowski by far, hands down, funniest movie I've ever seen.
Dude. Obviously, you're not a golfer. Man,
right.
There's just so many. It's just so well written. And the acting is so good. That's just one of those movies, man. Like, do you know that they're making a spin-off movie of that?
Oh, yeah, about Jesus?
Yeah. That was one of the most disappointed feelings I've ever had in recent memory when they teased that Super Bowl trailer or the Super Bowl ad with Jeff Bridges as the dude. He's like sitting in a bar, and it was like, whatever, stay tuned for more or whatever. And I was like, holy shit, dude, here we go. They're going to announce like the Big Lebowski 2 or whatever. And like, it was a fucking like Stella Artois ad or something. And it's like, dude, you can't do that, man. And not only that, it wasn't funny. So it was like disappointing in all ways. It was not movie related, and it sucked it was a shitty ad for a shitty beer, and it was a shitty letdown.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
I can't even stand Stella's. Ugh. So awful. It's like right there with red stripe. I cannot stand that. It's like drinking like Jamaican pee. That's what I imagine pee from Jamaicans would taste like, and I can't do it.
Well, it probably is.
It probably is. That's probably how they fund it. So let me ask you this then. So what is some I don't want to be only about movies because I could go down a rabbit hole and that's not going to be fun for anybody.
You should start a podcast about movies.
Yeah, what will you be on there with me?
For a fee.
Oh God, here we go again. Okay.
Well, I thought
Jeb.
you had...
All right, Jabs family. I got you.
Oh man, my joke about Jabs family, maybe I shouldn't tell it.
No, let's hear it. I'm ready.
No, because I haven't like tweaked. Dude, it's hard to write jokes. Like it's so hard, man. Even not funny jokes. Like
tell Jerry Seinfeld. Tell him he knows.
Yeah, write a joke about Jabs family for me.
Yeah.
Office Space. All these comments are
let me
great.
ask you: Are you a fan of Seinfeld?
I love Seinfeld.
Now, are you a fan of Seinfeld, the actual person, not just the TV show? Do you watch his?
No, I'm not. I'm not like a huge stand-up person. I think he's funny, but Seinfeld, the show, is incredibly funny, and I will stop what I'm doing and watch it, and I'll even laugh thinking about it years later.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing. So let me ask you, what type of music do you enjoy? Like, sometimes people have to be in certain moods for certain types of music. But if you're sitting in your car, you whip out your YouTube or your Spotify or whatever. What are you going to?
I mean, honestly, I'm glad you brought up my commute because my commute is 5 minutes, and I find I don't have time to listen to music. But
well, what about if you're not doing a 5-minute commute?
Classic rock, blues. I like outlaw country quite a bit.
Wow, outlaw. Does that have some better flags in it?
Well, I can't say country because it's not really country. Like Waylon Jennings, David Allan Coe, guys like that.
Sean nailed it, dude. That's what I do. That's all I listen to all day long. Exactly. Mostly 90s stuff. Yeah, exactly. But okay. All right. So, self-sport. Mark, as a child, what was a show that you loved watching as like an elementary school child?
I can't believe that this thing like turned into you interviewing. Nobody wants to hear about this. Nobody cares.
No, who cares? I don't care. People can like it. There's people interacting right now. You see it. People are actually into it. They're like talking about the movies, talking about the music. So it's not like it went from 30 to like 2.
Gary said, "I love K-pop." I don't even. I like Wheat Checks, so I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know Coulter Wall. Stuff about the Stove Show. Growing up, Simpsons. I loved Pete and Pete. When I was a little bit older, just staying up for Saturday Night Live, I loved that. All the Nickelodeon cartoons I loved, like what was that, like Rugrats and Angry Beavers and Ren and Stimpy.
Oh my god, those shows you can't watch anymore either. They're too extreme for children.
Mr. Rogers. Oh, Mrs. Rogers died today, he said.
Oh really? That does suck. She lived a long time. She must be in her 90s.
Ren and Stimpy is one of the most messed up shows you'll ever see, man. Ren and Stimpy. If you go back,
they were definitely on some like crack or something making that show.
I watched Hey Dude. Absolutely, I watched Hey Dude.
Hey Dude. Yeah, shit. Man.
My wife texted me.
She said, "Stop talking about our personal lives."
No. She probably said to go to bed. I have to get up in a little bit, but I don't want to go to bed yet.
Well, man, you gotta go. Dude, it's totally fine,
I don't. I'll tell you when I gotta go. You hang out for a minute.
It ain't gonna hurt my feelings. It's not like I'm,
No.
Okay.
Devil wears a suit and tie. I'll add it to my list.
Celebrity Deathmatch, nice. Yes.
I remember, yeah, Celebrity Deathmatch. That was hilarious. On Adult Swim.
It
was on MTV. It was on MTV, right?
Yeah, MTV, right? Yeah, it was on MTV.
Devil wears a suit and tie. Coulter Wall. I will add it to my list.
Robin Hood Men in Tights. That's I like that one. Tights. Yeah, I love Robin Hood Men in Tights. Dave Chappelle's in that, I think, right? Is it Dave Chappelle in that? So, but yeah.
Does anybody know? So I'm not going to tell the joke, but I'm doing research while I have an audience here.
A captivated audience.
I can do some testing. Is everybody familiar with the fact that somebody mailed their shit to Jab's family?
Yes.
Are you guys aware of this? He opened human feces on a fan mail Friday or whatever.
What a douchebag.
Nice. I just want to make sure people know about that.
We all know.
Sample.
I think the guy who did the dumping was this guy right here. He dumped it, sent it in a box. King Kong Bundy.
So it sounds like in the comments, Ed, did you really not know that somebody sent their shit to Jabs on Fan Mail Friday? This was like a long time ago.
Yeah, this is at least a year ago.
See you, Gary.
See you later, Gary. Take care.
Oh, Ed. Ed didn't know. Egg, dude, he took it down. Like, obviously he took it down. But then he did this whole speech about, how he can't accept, or he can't like to he can't do Fan Mail Fridays live anymore, and like boo, like whatever, dude. These people are sending you all this stuff just desperate to get attention. Like
even human fecal matter.
You got outplayed. Somebody sent their shit to you. Like, exactly. That is hilarious.
You don't come back from that one. That's a hard one to recuperate from.
Don Field and Dreams. I don't judge you for what. Like, I watched his videos before I got, just like you. I'm like, wait, this guy's a douchebag. Like, but it was entertaining.
I think so many people find him first. He's like a huge channel. It makes sense.
Yeah, he goes around and like tries to find stuff, and it's like interesting. It's like you're looking for the stuff, and then it grows old, and then it's like, oh, okay, he's an extremely annoying, grating person that's just a piece of shit.
And then he got a piece of in his mailbox, literally.
He was at the National, Ed? Wow. So, okay. So I just want, if anybody ever, that's right. That's right. He was knocking kids over, and then he was selling the balls on eBay.
Yeah, and he was knocking over old ladies. I saw an old men.
What an asshole, dude.
I mean, if it was my son, I would have thrown him over the top of the rail.
Absolutely.
I would have literally. I mean, I really would have. I mean, I would have knocked his teeth out.
I'm still pissed off that I missed out on a Cal Ripken Jr. autograph. I'm still pissed, man. A guy pushed me out of the way.
Oh, really?
It was his last game in Chicago. He was retiring at the end of the year, and I was there with my buddy. And I heard he was going to sign autographs after the game. And I went behind home plate, and I was going to run down to the what's up, Alex? I was going to run down to the visitors' dugout. And I go over there. I'm on the first base side, and there's one out in the bottom of the ninth inning, and the Sox dude hits like a routine, it's going to be tailor-made double play. And I just start running because I know the game's going to end. And I find myself in the front row right by the visitors' dugout. And I'm standing there like giving my buddy a thumbs up or whatever. And I'm there. I'm in line. So what year would that have been? Like 99?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so I was like 13. So I had like a program or something to sign. And he comes out and he starts walking down the line. And I'm like, dude, I can't believe this. I'm going to get a Cal Ripken Jr. autograph. Like, I had never gotten an autograph from anybody. And he's coming down. And right before he gets to me, this old, like, middle-aged guy just, like, leans over and pushes me back with his elbow. And I'm like, this. And he just walks by. He signs the guy's thing, and he keeps going. And I just remember just being so upset. Like, just, I couldn't believe it. Like, thinking back, I should have, like, at least been like, nice, dude, pushing a kid over so you get an autograph.
Yeah.
Like,
or at kicked least him right in the nuts.
Exactly. I should have kicked him in the nuts, because what's he going to do? Punch a kid?
Yeah, he ain't going to do nothing to you, yeah. Maybe nowadays in 2021, but back then, no.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, dude.
I'm still mad. I'm still mad about that.
I'd be so disappointed and heartbroken too, man. Can you imagine? Man, and then, again, if that was my kid and some old bastard came and pushed him out of the way, and so he can't get an autograph, but this old guy got an autograph. Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah.
I would definitely be banned from a cellular field or wherever.
Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. But that just shows that people are selfish people. They don't care about nobody but themselves. It is what it is.
What are some other topics? What are some other topics in the hobby that we can make jokes about? I'm sorry I keep going back to this, but I need material. Like I have I
mean, you should definitely be able to do something with people like standing in line to go get wax from a Walmart, or being told they only can get 2 per person and having meltdowns, or the guy that goes in and takes a grocery cart and fills it up with every single box there. And like you said, like the kid who's 13 just wants 1 box of something, and he looks at the kid with the last box on the shelf, and then he goes tap tap into his cart and drives off. There's all kinds of stuff with that stuff going on right now.
Oh man! Yeah.
I mean, that's just right for it.
Retail.
Or you know what's a funny bit that I think you would pull off better than me, because I don't have that same kind of humor, is the interaction between when you're at a card show and you go up and you like pick up, let's say you want the Jimenez card, right? And you go up to the guy at the card show and you see it doesn't have a price on it. And you go up to him and you're like, how much you want for this, sir? And the guy's like, well, that card's real hot right now. He like tells you all this stuff because he has to lay it on you good because he's getting ready to tell you a number that's gonna make you, poop your pants, right? So he tells you all this stuff. He's been really hot in the month of April. He got player of the month. This card's going really high right now on eBay. The last known price is $385, but I'll sell it to you for $375. And then you start walking away, and he's like, "Okay, I'll do $350." And you're like, "No, I'll think about it." You're like, "Okay, I'll give you $300." Like those guys, I love because that card actually is maybe $120,
right?
But because they found one sale somewhere 6 months ago, they're trying to tell you it's still $300 or whatever dollars. And then it's like the art of the deal, like working back and forth. I think those are the most hilarious guys because if they think that you don't know anything, they're going to try to screw you out of your thing, So that's I think that kind of funny. That'd be a funny skit, like easily.
That reminds me, I bought a used car, like right when Corona was starting. I bought a used car. And it was it just happened to be in the shady used car lot, but it was like this, it was the exact car I wanted in the exact condition. And like, it's kind of hard to find them. So I'm like, yeah, well, I don't want to deal with these assholes, but I'll give it a shot. Right. And I was talking to this guy and then I, said, I got to go, whatever. The stereotypical thing. Like, I'm not going to just buy this right now.
Right.
And then
I'll think about it.
I waited, and then a bunch of other stuff happened, but I'll just get to the point that's just like you're saying. The guy we're like negotiating on price, and the guy keeps saying how great the car is. And I stop him. I'm like, dude, I want the car. Like, you don't have to tell me the car's good. That's why I want it. If it was a piece of shit car, we wouldn't be having this conversation. And he's like, okay. But every price I said, he's like, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I'm like, I don't think it is. Why are we still talking?
Right. You're like, okay, I guess it's pretty ridiculous when I walk away and you have $0 opposed to $12,000 or whatever.
Oh man, that was really satisfying, that one. Because negotiating, don't be afraid to negotiate.
Yeah.
Because like
every time I've ever bought a car, and I've bought a lot of used cars in my life, I always walk in and like you said, they always give you they try to schmooze you. They try to wheel and deal you, and then I'm like, and I don't say anything really until I get a car that I like, right? I don't really care because I'm not gonna go through all this. I'm not gonna have you take me out to the dance if we're not gonna go to the dance. Like I'm not gonna, whatever. But so I'm just kind of like, okay, whatever. So, but when I find a car I like, and they do then they start doing the schmoozing and tell me what they can or can't do, and they gotta go talk to their manager. I always just say, listen here. I'm like, listen, Steve. You can go talk to your boss. You can tell him whatever you want. But I'm walking out of here unless I get this car, including insurance, taxes, everything. I'm paying $200 a month, and that's what I'm getting. If you can't get me that price, then we're not having nothing else to talk about.
Yeah.
And I mean, I tell every time, I'm talking about like I've got 6 cars in my life at least on my own. And I do that, and I do the same spiel every time. And then I say, and they're like, well, I don't know about that. I go and talk about maybe. What about if we could do it at 235? I'm like, Steve, the number's 200.
Yeah.
If you want, I'm like, I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want my time wasted. It's 200, or else I'm walking. Let me go see what I can do. All right, I'll talk to my boss, and one time only.
Talk to my boss.
I got it down to 215.05. That's the best. All right, well, good. Have a good day. I'll talk to you later. They're like, you can't do 250. I'm telling you, it's 200. And every time, I guarantee when I'm walking out of there, I'm walking out of there with a $200 a month car.
Yeah, or you're walking out feeling like you made the right choice.
Right, exactly. And so they're like, oh, they hate it, but I love it. So yeah.
Yeah, they do hate it. These guys were like the ultimate like used car lot. I go there and the guy's like, he's like, "Oh, you called about this car." He's like, "Here it is. Here's your next car." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool."
Here's your next car. Nice. I don't know if I've ever heard that one. That's a Wisconsin style of dealing right there.
He was right though. I mean, I did
Oh,
end
was
up
he?
buying it.
I
I ended up buying it, but it was days later. It was days later.
Wow.
So Ed said negotiating at a card show is always an adventure. I feel like
Yes.
maybe at the National this year we can like mess with some dealers. I think that would be funny. Like,
oh my gosh.
like
100%.
like let's do this. Like we'll go to a card show and it's like maybe there'll just be like singles or whatever, but only if the guy's like being an asshole. Because at the National especially, you like go there and look at the cards and they're like this. So yeah, I don't know. It's been kind of crazy. I was thinking about going to get something to eat, and you're like, hello? I'm like, yeah, hey, what do you want for that Tim Anderson card? 25. Okay, I guess I'll go fuck myself. See you later. Like that's it's like, dude, like what are you doing here? Why do you have this card out if you don't want to sell it? Like, go fuck yourself, dude. Like it drives me crazy. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna be like real creepy. Just because I remember saying this, like Filmington had that thing about like tips and tricks a couple years ago.
Right, yeah, I remember
saying
this.
you just stare at the dealer, but I'm just gonna start just like licking my lips and just be like,
Yes.
25. 25, you said? 25 US or do you guys take Litecoin here? Just keep going. Go. Just keep going.
Oh my god. Hey, what up, Steve? But you know, I think there is a plethora of great material at a card show.
Oh my god.
Or a card shop even, because you know you have all kinds of characters that come in those places that might have been there forever, who've been going there forever or whatever, and it's just you got all kinds of stuff. You take food stamps, that's a good one.
Does anybody know slab stocks? Have you ever heard of slab stocks?
I never heard of it. No.
It's like this. It's like an investing channel. They're not so bad. Like they actually like. They're like more like Filmington, like they actually know what they're talking about, and it's like interesting. They're not douchebags or whatever. But those guys apparently, like my local card shop, I don't go very often, but I found out that's their local card shop.
Oh, really?
I never see anyone in there, but the guys that work there are like super nice and friendly, and it's like, oh, I was kind of disappointed. Like I was hoping something funny would happen. I don't know.
Oh my god. Have I told you? I think I've told you. Have I told you the time when, oh my gosh, I forgot his name. I haven't thought about him forever. But who's the religious guy on the YouTube?
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you sure you want to tell this story? I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know, when he goes to the card shop with me, have I told you that?
Yeah, and the guy was cursing and stuff in there.
Yeah, never mind. Yeah, if you already heard the story, I'm not gonna tell you again. I'm glad you told me that.
People haven't. We probably. I don't know. I mean, it's up. This dude.
I don't care. I don't care about whatever his name is. I can't remember, but
Jeremiah.
Oh yeah,
JY
Sports Card Addict. Okay, thanks. What kind of terrible friend am I? I can't even remember who he is and his name. What was that? I missed something. Somebody said something about who? Oh yeah, man, George. Anytime, brother. I'm in Indiana. Oh, everybody said tell the story. Okay.
Dude, I'm having some issues here with my bowels, and I really need to go to sleep because I have to get up in like 6 hours.
All right, man.
I think you should stay in and tell the story. Don't let me
ruin
the story. I will. I'm sorry to duck out of here like with no warning, but we got issues here.
Okay, that's okay. Well, I don't want to go down your lane. All right, see ya. Bye. All right, guys. So yeah, so I'll quickly do it, and then that way people. So a couple years ago, if you all know the guy, it's my friend who runs a car shop here in Indiana called Four Sharp Corners. His name's Tracy Neal, and he's in Greenfield, Indiana. And JY came in town. JY's from Cincinnati or lives in Cincinnati. He came in town to go to this car shop, and as you all know, if you all know JY's channel, he's a pretty religious Christian guy. I'm a Christian, but I can, cut up and have a good time. I'm not too tightly wound, let's say. And so anyways, we go to shopping, and Tracy, he's like, that guy that's like old school dude. He's in his 50s. He doesn't really care about your feelings or about how you look at life. If you're in his shop, you're in his world, right? So he doesn't really care about PC culture and what offends people. Like, that's something that doesn't go across his mind because he does not care. I mean, he gets to know the people a little bit. If he knows you, he might be a little bit more careful if he knows that you don't like that kind of talk or whatever. But if you don't really care, he definitely doesn't care. Yeah, Tracy's very PC. You got that right. Yeah, Sean knows Tracy. So we go in there, and Sean, I'm sorry, not Sean, JY is in there, and Tracy starts out like, "Hey, thanks for coming to the shop," normal things. Well, then Tracy starts getting into like cussing up a storm, like just really getting like raunchy. He's talking about females and like the body parts. And like he just starts going on, and he's like asking, like he's like talking like JY directly, and you can tell JY's like super uncomfortable. He's like really not feeling it. You could tell he's like looking at me like, what's happening right now? And I'm just like, this is how Tracy is. And it got so weird that all of a sudden like Tracy's talking to JY. Because he's like, we're having like normal conversations as JY is like asking questions. Tracy's talking about like females and their body parts and about like other customers that he's like just ragging on. And he's like saying like all these inappropriate things. And you can tell JY's really uncomfortable. But to me, it's just like, this is how the way the world is. Like, this is the way it is. So all of a sudden, like JY is like, sound like he's like asking about cards and about prices. And then all of a sudden he goes, "I'm gonna go outside," and he goes outside. He doesn't come back in. He just leaves. He just walks out the door, and just like goes and sits around by my car, and just kind of hangs out by my car until I decide to leave. And so like Tracy's like, "Is your friend coming back in?" I mean, like you can see him from the window. It's not like he disappeared. It's like we just see him just standing out by the window. And I'm like, I guess I gotta go. I don't know. Like I don't know. And I knew what was going on, but I didn't really want to bring it up because just in case he came back in, I didn't want to make him feel awkward because Tracy would have like burned him up. Like he would have not have cared. So yeah, he was like really, really worked up about it, and you could tell he was really uncomfortable. And I just remember thinking like, it's like when you're in on the joke, but the other person is not in on the joke, that two other people don't realize what could actually happen is going to be possibly very explosive or uncomfortable or awkward or whatever. But you're sitting back and you're just like, here it goes. And I honestly didn't even think about it at the time. But Tracy knows me, and he knows he can be himself around me. Like, I don't care. Like, talk or say or whatever you want to do. But obviously that was really uncomfortable for JY. And I'm not trying to clown on JY, not at all. It just was a fact. It's just what happened. And I just never forget that because you could tell Tracy was like, what's going on here, dude? Like, why is this guy just up and like walk out my store? He's in the middle of having a conversation with me, and he just dips out. And then he didn't come back in. It was like, he didn't want to come back in. It was like too much for him. And then I end up having to explain, I guess I got to go. I brought him with me. I don't want to just be like, well, I'm staying here in Tracy for the next hour and a half, just chilling and going through cards. I guess I'm going to have to bounce too. But yeah. It was super uncomfortable and awkward for sure. And like I said, it is what it is. I mean, it's a conversation that I have with Tracy once in a while about, he'll be like, "How's your friend from Cincinnati?" So, but I'm like, he's like, is he being offended by somebody else recently? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I actually tell him, I'm like, man, we don't talk anymore. We haven't really had a conversation in a while. He's like, oh, okay. But yeah. So that was a little bit of the story. Maybe it wasn't all that great, but I just found it amusing because if you're ever stuck in those situations, you definitely know. You're like, yeah, this is pretty awkward, uncomfortable, whatever. But all right, guys, I've been on here for literally 2 hours and 15 minutes. That's crazy. I hope you all enjoyed the time. I had a great time. Thank you all for hanging out. And we'll do it again sometime. So until next time, peace.